Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Well done, OP. This is a potentially dangerous situation that you've made brother and sister-in-law aware of. They've chosen to ignore. Several steps were taken before banning them from the property. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Banned my brother and his wife from coming to my property. 3 months ago, my wife and I bought my parents' property. There are 2 houses on the property, one that my parents lived in, and the other's a smaller house that my parents used to rent out. When we bought the property, we moved into my parents' house, and my parents moved into the smaller one. The houses are far back off the road. When you come down the driveway, you come to our house first, and then my parents' house is further back. The problem that we're having is that people, including my siblings, like to speed down the driveway. It's a curvy driveway with pine trees lining it, so the visibility is restricted. Our worry is that someone would hit our kids when they're riding their bikes or would crash into us or someone else as they drive down the driveway. We put up a sign that says "Children at play, speed limit 5 miles per hour," which has been very effective except for when it comes to 2 of my brothers and 1 of my sisters-in-law. So I put in a speed bump. That did the trick, although my brothers and sister-in-law threw a fit. Last month I was outside and saw my brother and sister-in-law leaving my parents' house. They apparently didn't see me. My kids have some toys in our yard, and my sister-in-law, who was driving, drove into our yard and ran over the toys, breaking them. They then proceeded to laugh their heads off. They got back onto the driveway, and that's when they noticed me. I texted my brother, and he admitted that they did it because they're ticked about the speed bump. I ended up banning them from the property. My mom asked me the other day if I would rethink our decision because she misses the grandkids coming over. So I called my brother and told him that he could come onto the property again, but he had to park his car at the road and walk up. He angrily refused. My mom wants me to let him drive up, but I honestly don't trust him or sister-in-law. But at the same time, I feel bad because it's my mom and dad who are also being punished. And our second story. Enjoy that $5 that you stole from me. So this tale of this woman has 3 parts. I was involved in part 2 and heard from coworkers parts 1 and 3. I work at a large big box retail store. Today, this woman, we'll call her MCG for Motorized Cart Grandma, comes into our store and causes issues for myself and 2 of my friends. Incident 1, coffee shop. The MCG gets in her motorized cart and makes her way over to the coffee shop in our store to get something to drink while she's shopping. The coffee shop area is not very big, and anyone with any sense would not bring a motorized cart in that area. MCG gets her coffee from the barista and backs her cart up right into a huge display with coffee cups on it. MCG: what the hell is this? Why would you idiots put this display here where people can run into it? B: sorry about that. Do you need any help getting out of the coffee shop area? MCG: no, don't you dare touch me, and I'm not paying for that mug I broke. It's your fault it broke. Only an idiot would place that where someone can run into it. B: it's not really a problem. You won't need to pay for it. We'll get it cleaned up and out of the way in a minute. MCG: stop speaking to me. You're wasting my time. MCG then goes to do her shopping. After grabbing everything, she heads to the checkout, which leads me to my part in all this. Incident 2, check lanes. I'm helping the customer in front of MCG. As I'm ringing up her items, I start talking to her about our rewards program. The customer had never heard about it, so I went into detail for her. The whole time I was talking, I was still ringing up her items, not taking up any extra time. I noticed that MCG is slowly moving her cart closer and closer to the guest, and helping. Guest, do you mind backing up your cart a bit? I don't have all that much room to pay. MCG: that's because I'm trying to get you to move out of the check lane. I'm in a hurry and you keep talking and wasting my time. The customer and I finish up her transaction in silence, and she leaves. Now it's MCG's turn to check out. MCG: I'm being picked up to go back to the home, assisted living home, in 10 minutes, and I'm going to miss the van because of your talking. Me: well, you only have about 10 items, so the transaction should only take about 30 seconds. You'll be out of here in less than a minute to catch your van. MCG, no, I'm going to miss it because of your chatting. You wasted my time. Try to be less of an idiot and just do your job. Me, your total is XX dollars and XX cents. I told you it'd be less than a minute. MCG, I'm still going to be late because of you. MCG then leaves my lane and goes to customer service. She wanted to break a 20 into two 10s to give to her grandchildren. She's greeted by customer service girl. CSG. Incident 3, customer service. CSG. Hi, what can I help you with? MCG. I want to break this 20 and give $10 to my grandchildren. CSG. No problem. CSG gets the change and gives it to MCG. MCG. I used to have two $5 bills. I can only find one. I must have given it to you. CSG. I was only given the 20. I don't have a $5 bill. MCG. Well then, where did it go? CSG. I'm not sure, but we can call security to look at the video recording and see if they can figure out where it went. Our security went and looked at the tape and told her that she never gave CSG a $5 bill. The only thing she was given was the 20. As MCG drove her little cart away, she turns and yells to CSG, "Enjoy that $5 you stole from me." Some people are just the worst. And our next story. How a 4-year-old girl saves me from the wrath of her parents and leaves me with an important life lesson. When I was much younger, I used to work as a server at a popular rotisserie chicken restaurant. It wasn't a fancy joint, being more of a fast food dine-in chain that made food that wasn't horrible but nothing special. I typically handled small booths and tables of 5 to 6 people each, but on this night I had my usual section plus an additional party of about 15 people to juggle all at once. The worst is when everyone in a large party orders some kind of specialty drink. One person wanting a mojito prepared a certain way or a double shot of this or that. This party ordered a ton of drinks, one of which was a Bloody Caesar ordered by an older gentleman. After delivering the order to the bar, I went about taking care of my regular tables and delivering the drinks and meals as they became available. After about 10 minutes, the Caesar wasn't ready, and I kept getting looks from the old man as I brought everyone else their drinks. Another 5 minutes goes by, and the drink still wasn't ready, despite my inquiries at the bar, and the old man points to his watch with a displeased look on his face. I apologized and made a beeline for the bar, where I asked the bartender to just make the drink before the old man blew a gasket, and I stood there waiting. As I waited, a young couple came up to the bar to pay for their dinner. They had a tiny little girl with them, about 4 years old, who came and stood right next to me as I waited. I paid little attention to them as I was stressing about my tables and the orders as they invariably piled up as I waited. When the drink finally arrived, I don't know if it was just stress, excitement, or a lack of attention and focus on my behalf, but I grabbed that drink with the force of 1,000 behemoths, causing the liquid in the glass to fly up and out and down all over the little girl's face standing next to me. Bloody Caesar all over this child's innocent little smile and yellow jacket. In slow motion, I looked down, realized what happened, looked up, saw the parents glare at me with a look of death that would rival Luigi's, and back down to the child. I uttered something that sounded like an apology before running to the kitchen to grab some paper towels and back out again to give it to the parents, who looked like they were going to stab me with the nearest fork. But before they could act on their murderous thoughts, the little girl piped up and said, "Good thing I was wearing my rain jacket, huh, Daddy?" in the most charming and nonchalant way imaginable. The parents both laughed, their anger suddenly taken away by their daughter's adorable observation, and the father simply said, "Oh, Susie." They actually smiled at me as I apologized, and I felt my sudden fear vanish. I got that old effer is Caesar and couldn't have cared less about the way he stared at me or what he thought. It's just a drink, one of many drinks he'll have in his life. The little girl and her ability to break through the conventional reactions that adults have left me with a great memory and lesson, which is to never get stressed out, because even when bad things happen, there's always a positive perspective to be found. And our last story. A police officer from the HOA forbids me from using my property. Ah, the joys of small-town living, where the air is fresh, the gossip's riper than last week's tomatoes, and the neighbors, Well, they're a special breed. In our little slice of Americana, the homeowners associations reign supreme. They're like the nosy ants of the neighborhood, always poking their heads over the fence to ensure your lawn is the right shade of green. Now let me tell you about one neighbor in particular. Picture this, a retired policeman complete with a shiny bald spot that you could probably use as a mirror on a sunny day. His belly? Well, let's just say it looks like he's been enjoying more than his fair share of donuts. And his walk? A sort of slouchy shuffle that suggests he's carrying the weight of his former glory days on his shoulders. And there was a type of person I kept hearing words like, "Why the F didn't you cut your grass? You can't park 3 effing cars in your yard. You can't build that shed next to your house." I can. It's my land. I'm not a member of your HOA. Being a cop doesn't change that. But let's get to the juicy part. See, I had a sneaking suspicion that Mr. Retired and Relaxed was siphoning gas. But how to confirm? The good old water in the gas jug trick. Classic. So I filled up a 3-gallon jug with good old H2O and left it out like cheese in a mousetrap. Lo and behold, the next day, who waddles over but our ex-cop looking more flustered than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. He needed a ride. His pickup wouldn't start. Oh, the irony was too delicious. I moseyed over, feigning concern. "Out of gas?" I asked, innocence dripping from my voice like syrup on pancakes. He assured me there should be about 3 gallons in there. 3 gallons of water, that is. Being the good neighbor I am, I gave him a ride once and made it clear that my taxi services were not a recurring subscription. Later, I found my jug as empty as his promises to fix that pickup. And would you believe it? It's been over 5 years, and that pickup still hasn't budged an inch. It sits there, a monument to his failed thievery and my small-town Sherlock Holmes moment. Just another day in paradise, my friends. Just another day. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.